Here we have the Compaq Presario 1230 laptop. It's a laptop that was released around 1997, ran Windows 95, and throughout the past, what is about 18 years now, it's held up pretty damn well and is in excellent condition considering its age. We'll take a quick look at this on the outside. So, as you can see, it's in pretty good condition, only minor scuffs. Along the front, we've got a microphone and headphone jack. There's power indicators for charging, plugged in status, and powered on, of course. And your standard keyboard indicators. Two very large speakers that protrude out the front. You can see they're much larger than what they appear on the outside. Again, two latches on the screen, as is necessary with one of these laptops. Built-in floppy drive. One PC card slot with a flop-out eject button, which is something you don't see very often, and in good condition, not broken, you don't see very often. Kensington lock, built-in modem, PS2 keyboard or mouse port, one USB port, which I assume to be 1.0 or 1.1, VGA, fan, communications, and printer port, and a charging port on the back. Along the side, we have a removable, but pretty much built-in CD-ROM drive, as well as a battery that I do believe to be good in this particular model. So, take a look at the bottom very quickly. There's a RAM cover and some cooling. Really not much to mention on the bottom. So we'll open it up and see the beauty that is this particular laptop. So, if we take a quick look at the bottom of the laptop, you'll see the very nice speakers, very generous speakers, and they sound excellent, by the way. A nice touchpad of average size, I would say. Your buttons, of course, and there is an internet button in the middle, because this was from around the time when the internet was just a baby and people were trying to get on the internet. And also has two volume buttons for up and down volume. Keyboard is really nothing to mention. It is a nice keyboard. It types very, very well, but there's nothing special about it, so I'm not going to go into that. Center mounted power button. As you can see, the model 1230, shipped with Windows 98. I do believe that is untrue. From what I was able to find in my research, it would have shipped with Windows 95, and it would have been upgraded to Windows 98. And there is the nice screen, which is in excellent condition, at least from the outside. When we start it up, I'll show you some of the issues the screen has. So I'm going to readjust the camera, plug this thing in, and we're going to take a look at the BIOS and the operating system. Alright, so let's power this thing up using the power button, of course. And we'll be greeted with the Compaq logo. And we'll hit F10 a couple of times to get into the BIOS setup. Oh, hit it too many times. So there we can see, hopefully, the BIOS. This particular model has the 233 MHz Cyrix Media GXM processor. I know absolutely nothing about this processor, so I'm not going to go into detail on it. Surprisingly enough, I booted this thing up after it being off for, I think, 3 years, and it has the correct time. No effing idea how it did that, but it did it, so I guess that's good. This one is sporting a 3.2 megabyte hard drive. Who could ever need more storage than that? 640 kilobytes of system memory, obviously, and 32 megs of extended memory. The extended memory, fun fact, is soldered onto the board and cannot be removed, of course. This model is upgradable to 96 megs of RAM via a 64 meg SD RAM module in the bottom door that we saw earlier in the video. So we're running BIOS version 1.05, not that that makes any difference whatsoever. And really, there isn't much to say about it. So I'm going to try to boot this thing up. I don't remember if there's anything on here. It's been quite a while since I've had this thing on. And right there you can see some issues in the screen. I'm not sure if this screen is defective. Maybe it's just age. But it doesn't look very pretty. I can guarantee you that. So, this is running Windows 98. I did say this originally shipped with Windows 95, which I believe it did, but it's running Windows 98 now. Also, in case you're interested, here is what the power adapter looks like. Pretty standard for the time. This is a 19 volt 3.16 amp power adapter. really nothing to mention about it, just thought I'd mention that I have one. And there we have Windows 98. Now, I do remember who owned this computer, and I don't believe there's anything special on there that she would have left on there. Do our secure login with the escape key. As I may have stated before, the sound on this thing is excellent, and it has a great kind of 3D feel, which actually the 3D sound name was not really introduced into the Compaq line until the 1260 was released, which I will have another video on shortly. So here we have the Windows desktop of Windows 98, very common, and you might be able to see a little bit of issue with the screen here. It's kind of darker in the middle and lighter on the side. That's not a camera trick or a camera issue that I'm having. That's how the screen is. I'm pretty sure it's defective or just old. I don't think that's the way that the screen was, but somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. I'm also noticing, which you won't be able to notice, some dead pixels. So the screen's old. I'll give it that. And this thing has taken for freaking ever to start up. Explorer has performed an illegal operation and it can be shut down. I do not miss seeing those messages. And we're going to restart Explorer here, and then hopefully get into the system information and the hard drive and show you some more of that. Alright, that finally loaded. So as you can see, as I stated before, it has the Cyrix processor in there at 233 megahertz, 32 megs of RAM, and this is running the original installation of Windows 98, as you can see by the Compaq logo. It's also running Windows 98, what I believe to be first edition. I don't think that's second edition, or else it might tell me it's second edition. And really not much to mention in there. This installation seems to have one of those Windows 98 expansion packs that give you extra features and backgrounds and screensavers. The name escapes me at the moment, but I know I had it at one point. And we'll just look at our wonderful underwater aquarium here. It's quite the fish. That is an excellent fish right there. Got some sounds that I'm not sure an aquarium actually makes. More screen options here. We've got, as you can see, a high color, 16-bit color. Let's try to jack this up to 24. Let's apply without restarting. Yes. Yeah, that totally doesn't work. So this is definitely a high color monitor. So before I shut this thing down, we will play a little bit of Nancy Drew games. I don't remember exactly what games those are, but we're going to play some of it because that is quite a blast from the past there. Alright, so it's been several minutes and it doesn't look like Nancy Drew's going to load up, so screw you, Nancy Drew. And I guess that is it for this video. So this has been the Compaq Presario 1230 laptop. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want to see any more content regarding this particular laptop, let me know. Maybe I'll install Windows on it and get this thing, get a fresh installation of Windows on there. So, there you have it, folks. Compaq Presario 1230 laptop. Thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed.